There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. Nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Nothing you can know that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. There's nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our transition webinar from FS2 to Year 1. Today, we will be joined by Mr. Alex, who is our Assistant Head of Victory Heights, Zoe, our Year 1 leader, and Chelsea, our FS2 year leader. And everyone give everyone a wave.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
And good. Today we are going to be looking at transition, and we're looking at the smooth transition between Foundation Stage 2 and Year 1. For us in Foundation, it's extremely important, and we want to make sure the children are ready to go and make that transition over to our main building at the primary school. So the aims of today's session is to make the transition from FS2 to Year 1 as smooth and relaxed as possible, and to make sure we put in the appropriate measures and support in place to make sure the children are ready for their next journey into the main school. So I'm going to pass you over to our Foundation Stage 2 leader, Miss Chelsea, who's going to talk to you a little bit more about transition from the FS2 side.
Thank you, Miss Sasha. Can you believe it that we are in our third and final term in FS2? I'm sure that you'll agree that this year has flown by. And within FS2, we follow the EYFS curriculum, and it's slightly changed this year, but we are still focusing on the 7 areas of learning. So we've got our personal, social, and emotional development, our physical development, our communication and language, and then literacy, maths, understanding the world, and expressive arts and designs. And our prime areas are the areas that we focus a lot on within FS2, and that's our personal, social, and emotional. So encouraging the children's social skills and their independence. And I'm sure you'll all agree with the new drop-off system that we've got going on at the moment, that has really developed the children's confidence and independence in getting out of the car themselves, carrying their bags, walking to the classroom. And then we are focusing on communication and language, which is their oracy skills, being able to talk in sentences, being able to explain their ideas, and then their physical development. So that's all of their gross motor skills, their fine motor, and also like holding a pencil and forming their letters correctly. At the end of the year, we assess the children against the early learning goal, and this is a statutory requirement, and this leads on to the GLD, which is the good level of development. This will sum up the children's learning and progress, ready for them to move to year 1. And at the end of this year, you will receive a report from your class teacher explaining all of this and the progress that your child has made from your class teacher. Okay, so the FS2 achievements, I'm sure you'll all agree that they've been amazing this year, and the progress that they've made over the past 2 terms has been really, really great. At the end of term 2, we've seen accelerated progress where the children have grown in independence and grown in confidence. But at the end of FS2, we would like the children to be recognising and using numbers to 20, recognising all their phase 3 sounds and tricky words. We do this daily in phonics, and then we are starting to send out the phase 3 sounds and tricky words with their homework, reading and writing simple sentences, working on their independent skills, and to share ideas, thoughts and experiences within our classes. So that's their orality skills. So we do daily show and tells within our class, and that just develops all of their speaking skills, ready for when they go into year 1. So for transition, what we'll do in FS2, the year 1 teachers will be regularly visiting the FS building. So the children will get used to seeing the teachers around in their home environment. So Ms Zoe and her team will come in and pop in and see them during busy time. And then we'll also receive some videos of all the teachers reading stories, so we can always relate things back to those teachers. So the children recognise them in their home in their FS2 building. And then when we go and see them on a Friday, when we're in the main school on a Friday, they'll be able to recognise them around that main school as well. So on Friday, we'll also be spending a bit more time within the primary school. So we'll have swimming, and then we'll go and visit the year 1 area, so the pod and the outdoors, and go and have our snack there, so the children can get used to being in that environment. And then we'll openly talk about that this is where the new classrooms will be, this is where they'll be going to go play outside, just so that they recognise it and we can build up that transition ready for when they go into year 1. To end our time in FS2, the children will be having a graduation. So this is where we'll be celebrating all the children's achievements throughout the year. And this will be in June. So the dates will be the 13th to the 16th, and then the 20th and the 21st. The year 1 teachers will be joining us for our graduation as well, just so that they can see the children. And then to end over the summer, we would like you to just continue to develop the children's independence. So supporting them and getting dressed by themselves, and getting their snacks ready and things like that. We'll also be setting some activities on Seesaw just to continue the children's learning. So it'll be to do with number recognition, reading and writing in phase 2 and phase 3 sounds, and this will then support the children when they go into year 1, just to keep that the progression of their learning over the summer. Okay, I'm now going to pass you on to Ms Zoe, our year 1 leader.
Hi everyone. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Miss Zoe, and I am the head of year 1 here at school. So I just wanted to start off by introducing some of the main areas of our primary school here. And one of them here you can see is the entrance to the main school. Now this is the entrance that the year 1 children will use. We have currently 6 classes in year 1, and we have 3 on one side of the pod, and we have another 3 on the other side. When you do find out what class your child will be in, we will communicate more with which class colour your child will be in, and then you will know more about which way to go when you arrive at school. Next to it here is the playground, and I know that, like Miss Chelsea says, I've seen lots of the FS2 children around when they're visiting the school for their swimming lessons or for when we have like International Day, and to be honest, I feel like the children are quite relaxed here already, and they enjoy being in the environment, so they will be very much aware of some of the areas around school, and one in particular will be the playground, because I know I have, like I said, seen some of the children using it. So these are just a couple of the areas. And then here we have the swimming pool, which the children obviously are very familiar with at the moment. And then we also have the year 1 classrooms. Like I said before, we have 2 pods in the year 1 area, and we have half of the classes on one side and the other half on the other. And you can see that this is the entrance to one of those classes. So I just wanted to introduce to you what the Year 1 classroom, the Year 1 pods, the Year 1 outdoor areas look like. So here you can see the pod areas that we have. Both sides of the Year 1 pods, we try and make sure that they match and that they're very similar. So you can see here that it is very similar to the FS2 pod areas. We have a lot of continuous provision, and we have that complete continuous provision in the term 1, which I'll go into more detail with. And then as they go towards term 3, we then try to relax that and take that away a little bit so that the children are more focused in the classrooms. And you can see we have all the different areas like they do in FS2. We have the small world, we have writing opportunities, we have opportunities for the children to be creative. We also have computers in our pods where we have the whiteboards for the children to do activities on the computers as well. So they are very similar pods to the FS, but we do upscale some of the learning slightly to suit the Year 1 curriculum. So here is our outdoor area. And like I said again, similar to the FS2, we have some den building where the children can build dens together, and this is really good for teamwork and working together. You can see here on one of the photos the children were making cakes in the mud kitchen, and that's really good, like Miss Chelsea talked about the oracy skills and that communication with each other. And then the picture in the middle, this was actually a directed task in one of our lessons, and it was one of our maths lessons where we were doing some counting. And you can see here that we try and use the environment within our lesson time and also within the free time for the children when they're outside exploring. And then here is just an example of one of the classrooms in Year 1. And you can see that we use the carpet area for discussion. This was actually one of our science lessons, and we were discussing parts of a flower. And you can see here that we did it as a whole class. And then on the next one, this is just an example of one of the classrooms and what it looks like. So there maybe not be as much continuous provision inside the classroom, but you can see that we have that in the pod areas too. So the Year 1 curriculum. So like Miss Chelsea did say, the children are on the early years curriculum profile when they're in EYFS, and when the children move to Year 1, they move on to the national curriculum. Now, just because they're then moving on to the national curriculum, it doesn't mean that the EYFS profile is forgotten about and that we don't look over that again. We do, particularly for the first half term, look at the Year 1 national curriculum alongside the early years profile. This is to support that crossover and to support that transition. And like I talked about before, the first term is continuous provision, with some continuous provision continuing for the whole of the year. And as you can see in the main building, we will have the 2 classrooms downstairs. The 2 pods with the classrooms downstairs. Okay, so what does a day in Year 1 look like? So I always think that parents think a Year 1 is them sat down doing work at the table for the whole time, but trust me, we do make this transition as smooth as possible for the children, and we do try, particularly for the first half term when they move to Year 1, is to mirror the timetables similar to what they are doing in FS2. So we do have specialist subjects like they do in FS2, but we do have a few more. So in Year 1, we have specialist subjects. We have PE, we have music, we have art, and we also do Arabic specialist lessons in Year 1. Like I said before, the continuous provision will happen in the first half term and throughout the year. And this just gives that children some of that freedom to meet the objectives that are needed in Year 1 in a more independent way. We have daily phonics lessons, so we have 20-minute phonics lessons each day. And in this, we do the reading, we do writing, and we also look at applying the sounds that they have learned in their phonics lesson. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what the curriculum looks like now, but in September, October time, I will do another webinar then to go through the Year 1 curriculum in more detail. We also have a project day, which is where we cover our humanities lessons. And we also do weekly spellings in year 1. And this is 6 spellings a week. And then this does progress towards the end of the year where we might have a little bit more. Now, the spellings don't start till after half term. So you'll get more information about that when it comes to it. Okay, so I know Miss Chelsea touched on a little bit of this earlier, and I do think from seeing pictures and hearing about it, I think the FS2 children are going to be very independent when they come into school. So these are just some of the expectations that we do have in year 1, and there is just some things that you can help with at home, is coming into school on their own, and I think that will be fine with that in year 1 from FS2. It's just trying to encourage them to come into school on their own. Also in the house, that the children are packing their bags themselves. It's very interesting when the children say, oh, well, my mum forgot my water bottle today. And I always say, well, no, you need to remember to bring your own water bottle. So working on them with their independence of collecting their own belongings. You can see here in one of the pictures, obviously when they start in year 1, we'll tell them the expectations and the routines of each classroom. But it might be that the children know what day they need to hand their reading books in, and they know how to do that. They have it out of their bag ready, that in the morning they can put it in their box. One of the main things that we would like is for fine and gross motor skills, and little things that you can do to help with that at home is if you've got any pasta, you could be threading it through string. Can you have a go at practicing cutting? If they're doing some cutting at home, it's not, oh, I'll cut it for you. Let the children have a go at cutting it. Some of their letter formation, just going through some of the things like that with the children, making sure that they can put on their own uniform. So this is really big for when it comes to swimming as well, because when they get to year 1, they are expected, and probably, I know Miss Chelsea, you probably expect them to do this now in FS2, is to get changed as independently as possible. As you can imagine, there is 25 children in the class. The more children that can get ready on their own, the better it is, definitely. And then just one of the things that we do find is just please to try and be on time for school. We do start our phonics lessons around 8 o'clock, so we're straight into our phonics lessons. So the more that you are on time, the children are then able to do their phonics lessons. They can access the basic skills in the morning. Basic skills is exactly the same as FS2, and I know that we spoke very closely with FS2 that in this final term that the basic skills mirror what we do in year 1. So again, that helps with the transition, and that basic skills is a consolidation of the previous learning that the children have done. So again, it's really important that the children are on time to school. Okay, so I'm going to pass over to Mr. Alex now, but thank you so much for listening.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Ramadan Kareem. I'm Mr. Alex, and I'm the assistant head here at Victory Heights Primary School. I'd just like to say thank you very much for setting some time aside to join us here on our webinar about transition from FS2 to year 1. Now, I work closely with year 1, Ms Zoe and Ms Chelsea, trying to make sure that we're considering all elements of our transition experiences, and hopefully today's session is kind of really detailed that, what kind of elements we consider and how we make sure that that transition is seamless through a series of events. And mainly that's to support the academic, the social, and the emotional well-being of your child and our pupils. So STEAM, just want to give you a little bit of background here. We introduced STEAM into Victory Heights Primary School about 4 or 5 years ago now. It's been open to year 2 to 6, and we've seen a massive success with the level of independence, the opportunities as well to these pupils. So the children are able to explore the science, the technology, the engineering, the arts, and the mathematical elements of STEAM. And we look to kind of embed that within the classroom and try to create lessons which will harness those skills and develop them. And this year, we're quite excited to announce that we're going to introduce that for year 1. So as of next academic year, your children going into year 1 will be able to sign up to year 1 STEAM and have your children involved. So it'll be one 40-minute lesson a week. And mainly, as it says here, is to support their problem-solving skills and allowed to kind of really develop those collaboration areas to empower the children, so that we're able to look at creativity, experiential learning, and mainly connect problem-solving to real-world solutions. So we will share more information regarding Year 1 STEAM as the term unfolds, and we'll make sure we'll communicate as to how you can sign your child up to STEAM next academic year. Of course, we're very excited to welcome you to the primary school. If you haven't visited before, hopefully today's webinar has given you a bit of a detailed overview of the facilities we offer, the curriculum we'll be focusing on, and making sure that we ensure your child is transitioning from foundation stage to to year 1, the national curriculum, really smoothly. Do you mind going on to the next slide, please? So one thing we wanted to just share with you, I think there was another slide regarding a transition morning. Oh, there you go. Next slide. Sorry, it was already on there. So we're going to organize a transition morning towards the end of this month. It's going to be communicated very shortly, and it's going to allow FS parents, FS2 parents mainly, to come up and visit Year 1. You'll have a bit of a show around the facilities as well with the primary leadership team. And most importantly, you're going to meet the Year 1 teachers, and they're going to show their environment. You can have a little chat with them, have some discussions about the term 1 and the sort of activities we look to embed within the environments, the provision we offer as well. So we will communicate about this open morning in the next coming weeks, and hopefully we'll have you in, and we can show you around the wonderful primary school we have here. So on the next slide, I think we were trying to focus on questions, and if you had any questions, we could answer them live on this webinar. We haven't had any through yet, as far as I can see. But what we've done is we put together some questions just in case there weren't any, so that if anyone watches this back, they can hopefully feel like some areas are being considered and discussed in greater detail. Miss Sasha, have you got any questions for us?
Oh, I do, because I know that when the children start in FS, the first thing we talk about is the daily routine and what it looks like at school. And I know that's really important for our parents at FS. So one thing I know, when they come to the big school, and I thought Miss Zoe might help me with this, do they need a pencil case when they come to Year 1?
So we say no for the first term. We would rather the children come in and settled, and we have all the equipment that is needed in term 1, and that parents don't need to worry about sending their child in with a pencil case. We will communicate to you towards the end of the first term to say that after the winter break and in January, the children may bring a pencil case to school then. So we try and say no for the first term, just because from past experience, we find that children get very attached and focused to their pencil case, that we'd rather them just come in, settle down, and not need to worry about that, and everything will be provided. But like I said, we will communicate around January time about hopefully allowing the children to bring a pencil case with them then.
Okay, I do have another one as well, just about phonics. So if I was a mum and I had a child going into Year 1, I think I'd want to know, in FS, they do daily phonics. So do they do daily phonics in Year 1?
Yes, we do daily phonics exactly the same as what they do in FS2. And we do work very closely with the FS team to know where the children are currently sitting at the end of the FS2 year and what phase they will be on. And then that way we know where to begin when they come to Year 1. So that is part of our transition process with the FS2 teachers, is to find out more information about each individual child and what phonic phase they're on. And then we can continue to work on that with the children. And like I said, more information will come about the Year 1 curriculum in September. But for now, yes, they do phonics, and we do build on what they've done in FS2.
Okay, and I have one last one, just in case we want to know. what happens if I've got a child in year 3 and they have a Chromebook and they want to take it to school? Do I have to buy a Chromebook for my child in year 1 or?
No, so we don't have Chromebooks in year 1 for the children. Towards the end of year 1, we will discuss more about the children getting Chromebooks ready for year 2. But we have a number of Chrome iPads in school. We have a number of Chromebooks that we use in year 1. So we tend to not focus on Chromebooks as much in year 1. And so no, so don't, the answer to that question is don't go out of your way. Don't be worrying about buying Chromebooks. They do not need them to begin with in year 1. And it is more towards the end of the year 1, beginning year 2. So no, don't be worrying about Chromebooks.
Thank you so much, Miss Zoe.
No.
Mr. Alex, do you have any other questions you want to fire our way, or?
I think we've covered most of the areas, and especially the Chromebook area as well. Thank you so much for confirming and clarifying that. So I just wanted to finish by saying a big thank you, Miss Sasha, Miss Zoe, and Miss Chelsea, for your time, for that informative session on the transition here into the primary school from FS. Also, I want to say thank you very much to the parents and our friends at home taking the time to watch this webinar. I'm sure that we've covered a lot of the areas today. And hopefully these questions have made you feel a lot more settled with the transition into primary school. Again, we will be communicating very shortly about the transition morning and hope to see you all there in person, and we can show you around our school and all the wonderful facilities that we have to showcase. So once again, thank you so much for your time, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.